All right, here we go. Cannabis delivery firm Eaze may face worker strike in lead up to 420. Cannabis-based marijuana delivery firm Eaze is facing a possible worker strike in the weeks leading up to April 20th over negotiations with drivers over mileage reimbursement and other outstanding issues, according to the National Labor Union that represents the workers. 4 chapters of the UFCW, the United Food and Commercial Workers Union in California, have been negotiating with Eaze on behalf of more than 500 cannabis delivery drivers since late August, according to a statement from the UFCW. Employees recently voted to reject Eaze's last best and final contract offer, which it made on March 19th. That vote authorizes the UFCW to initiate an employee strike, the union said. A strike could kneecap the delivery firm in advance of the largest cannabis sales day of the year, the Stoner holiday of 420, the union implied in a press release. And Eaze Stack's recent offer did not meet the workers' key objectives, which include raising the mileage reimbursement rate, increasing hourly wages, and ensuring a minimum number of hours, the union said. Despite the company's refusal to give workers what they deserve, the union remains committed to negotiations in the hope of reaching a mutually beneficial agreement and avoid a work stoppage. Eaze did not immediately respond to requests for comment on Wednesday morning, but CEO Corey Azzolino told Weed Week that Eaze is also continuing to negotiate after having slashed mileage reimbursement rates for drivers last year to 40 cents. By contrast, the Internal Revenue Service recommends a mileage reimbursement rate of 67 cents, while the required minimum reimbursement rate under California law is 35 cents. Whether the company is profitable or can afford to pay drivers more has to be a matter of debate. The privately held Eaze previously maintained that it has never turned a profit, and Weed Week reported and has even cut corporate salaries by 70% in the last 2 years to stay in business. But last November, Azzolino said during a podcast that Eaze is profitable in its home state of California, which leaves question marks about the profitability of the company's footprint in other state markets, which include Michigan and Colorado. Regardless, the UFCW and Eaze employees have maintained that the company can afford more concessions to workers. In quotes, "We are the reason for the company's profits, and while they're getting richer, we're barely scraping by," driver Austin Williams said in the release. UFCW members are ready and willing to do what it takes to ensure Eaze and Stacks agrees to a contract that respects our work and ensures we can put food on the table or pay our rent. 3 of the 4 UFCW locals also filed unfair labor practice complaints with the National Labor Relations Board against Eaze and its parent company Stacks LLC, alleging that the company has refused to share worker information and unilaterally modified driver contracts specifically about mileage reimbursement for delivery drivers. 2 of the 3 complaints were filed in June 7th of last year, but the third was just filed on March 25th by Local 770 in Los Angeles, and all 3 are still pending. The news is yet another signal of organized labor's growing power in the cannabis industry. And last year, multi-state operator Green Thumb Industries had to deal with a nearly 2-week strike at several of its facilities in Illinois, led by the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, and also had to handle multiple unfair labor practice complaints lodged against it. Many other large companies, including Ascend Wellness, AY Air Wellness, Curaleaf, TerraSend, Cresco Labs, and TrueLeaf, have also faced unfair labor practice complaints filed by unions. Well, what do you all have to say about this? Rico, are you going to keep on cracking up, or are you going to be able to talk about this?
How is this? I'm coming in directly from my phone now. Is this better?
Way better. There we go.
I'm just gonna do it from the phone.
Yes.
Shout out to Tim Cook and the ghost of Steve Jobs holding me down today. So yeah, my comments on it, man. Like you can like or hate unions all you want, but I think this is the proper use of union power. When you have, as I was going to say in my story, that if we are to believe Azzolino's words that Eaze is indeed profitable in California, I think it only bolsters the workers' point even further. It's not their fault that the company was over leveraged outside of California, and they shouldn't be punished for it. I'm not always a big fan of unions or how they handle their business negotiations in public, but I do believe in situations like this, I think it's justified. How are you gonna be trying to pay folks like 40 cents a mile when the IRS is recommending 67 cents, and California just
hold on.
up.
So you're telling me, hold on a second, Rico. You're telling me that you believe recommendations that the IRS states, people that just don't do anything but collect money and impose crazy fees and whatnot. You're telling me that you are agreeing with the IRS?
I'm telling you, the IRS recommendation is 67 cents, and Eaze is trying to pay their workers 40 cents.
Yeah, but California is 35 cents as a minimum.
I'm telling you, they have a point. California just boosted their minimum wage to $20 an hour. Everybody else is getting money around them, and your CEO is saying that your company is profitable. Fuck you, pay me.
Yeah, but like
I gotta say, I agree with you, Rico, especially if this comment is true. Underneath your article, there was a comment. This guy said you left out some important info. 35 cents per mile is the required minimum reimbursement rate in California for 1099 employees only. Prop 22 is only for app-based drivers who can deduct their vehicle expenses and their federal tax returns to recover their losses, and they're also guaranteed a minimum wage at 120% of local taxes, whereas where cannabis delivery drivers are W-2 employees who cannot deduct those expenses, and the IRS rate exists for a reason. He said, by the way, in order to legally pay less than the IRS rate, an employer must prove that their employees' costs are less than that rate, and Eaze has provided no such proof.
Well, yeah, Eaze ain't going to be able to provide that proof because we have Biden inflation going on crazy rampant in California. So that they're not.
That ain't their problem.
Yeah, they're not.
That is not their problem. They work for a company who is cheapskating them, and allegedly, and their CEO got on a podcast talking about they're profitable in California. Guess what? These workers work in California. Mm-hmm. It's time for them to pay up.
Mm-hmm. I heard that, Rico. I heard that, bro.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yes, sir.
Go for it.
I can't hear Stone or Rico, so I don't know what they said. But I can tell you, I represent small delivery companies here in California. The small ones are dying. Mm-hmm. Eaze is not a small one, and if their model is to use somebody else's car and pay them reimbursement for their own car, I think that's, my view is pretty stupid. You got to be an employee of the delivery company in California. And that just creates all sorts of liability issues. But I'm also, my grandpa was a Teamster. I'm also on the side of organized labor here, so I get torn. I got clients who can't afford to pay what the unions want them to pay because the margins aren't big enough. And the black market out there is just killing it. And it just creates a serious problem. I'll be interested to see how this turns out if they actually do have a strike at the time when they're expecting the 420 surge. Because, Eaze is a big company, and if they have to, bite a little bit and tighten their belts, I don't think anybody cries too much. But some of the smaller people I represent, and there's no bankruptcy, so they may go under for things like this.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, I don't necessarily support the unions. I do think the workers can get a few more cents on their mileage. I think Eaze can ease up on that a little bit. But I do wonder what are the other things that they're asking for, because I'm willing to put money on that this is not the deal breaker of the overall strike. Is simply this mileage fix, because they're definitely not willing to strike over 26 cents. I'm not buying that. So what else is there?
It's a living wage, bro. Hell yeah. Why would you not?
I don't think there's.
You should be ready to strike over a living wage, especially in a state where your CEO got on the mic and said that you guys are profitable.
I'm not buying that 36 cents more is the difference between a living wage per mile. I'm not buying that for a heartbeat.
You know what? You'd be surprised.
It adds up, bro.
You'd be surprised, bro. Listen, you really be surprised. And I'm gonna just be totally honest with you. Anything that you deserve is always going to be worth fighting for. It doesn't matter even if it's 5 cents, bro. It's my 5 cents.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if it's 2 cents. It's my 2 cents. It's what listen, it doesn't matter. Like, to you, I get what you're saying. Like, don't get me wrong, brother. Usually you and I are on the same page, but for this, I'm for, if you owe me anything, I'm coming to get what you owe me. So if it is 5 cents extra,
They're not
I'm
owed
willing
that yet.
to die on getting what I deserve, because if not, and you kept what you owed me in the first place.
They're
You
not.
never
They're
gave
not
me
owed
what
that.
I was
They're
supposed to
not
have.
owed. They're not owed that yet, though. That's not in their contract yet.
Yeah, but that's what they feel, and if they're being told that that's what they're worth, and if they're hearing from the CEOs like, yeah, this is a gold mine.
I really
can
wonder.
see them saying.
I really wonder how much gaslighting the UFCW is doing to all these workers.
Well, everyone
It's
gets
not. It's not.
gaslighted.
Dude, it's not about gaslighting. Like I said, I think this. I'm not always for unions, but I think this is the proper use for your union and to use their power to get your fucking dollars.
Mm-hmm. Nick Bradley did some math for us. He says 36 cents a mile is $36 a day, which comes out to $180 a week, which is $720 a month, and almost $9,000 a year.
Give me my money.
Mm-hmm.
Give me my money. It all add up, baby.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that math for us, Nick. We appreciate that. Good looking out. And on that, we're going to go to a commercial. We're going to be right back.